Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Do I say it? Yeah. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning, the reminder of choice that we have. That's what that is. Remember, you always have a choice about the meanings that you're going to give every single moment of your life, to give meaning to everything that happens in your life. You know what that shifts your life to? It shifts it from life is happening to you to instead life is happening for you. It's just a difference in how you look at things. And what's amazing is the feeling is dramatically different when you start to live your life from life is happening for you. And again, it's solely based from the perception that you have. And you're the one that gets to choose that. You're the one that gets to choose how you're going to look at things. You're the one that gets to choose the meaning of everything, of which I mean everything, which is fundamentally meaningless. I remember the first time that I heard that. Everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. See, once you start to grab onto that and to think that way, that's when everything opens up. And that's what we're hoping that you get for you in your life. We're inviting you, we have been inviting you to open your mind to the real world where possibility lies, the world within, the kingdom of heaven. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is the kingdom of thought. In that kingdom of heaven, you can imagine things. You can hold an image on the screen of your mind to the point of where it begins to externalize and to form. Remember, the outer world is the world of effects. It's the world of results, conditions. And you have dominion over this earth. You can change that. You can change how much you earn, what you do for work, your lifestyle, how you dress, the car that you drive. If you want to change any of those things, guess where it's got to start? It's got to start first in the mind. Write this in your notes again. Everything happens twice. Everything. Everything happens twice. First in the mind, second in its physical form, which is why it's so important for you to, for instance, dream big. Stop dreaming based on what you know you can do or what you think you can do. Start dreaming based from what's not logical, what doesn't make sense. See, that's where you're going to become alive more than you've ever felt alive. And again, that's what we're hoping that you get for you. This is why we've been studying this beautiful gem, the Master Key System. It's such an incredible jewel of wisdom. Make sure you have a copy of this. And with that, also make sure that you're taking notes and underlining. And most importantly, make sure that you're using it. See, application, baby, that's where it's at. See, I can be talking about this all day long. You could be studying information from many people for lots and lots of time, reading books, going to seminars. But I got news for you. If you don't use it, it's not going to serve you. You know, that's one of the beautiful gems that I learned from Bob Proctor. Yes, he would constantly say, you've got to study, you've got to study. But one thing he did not share vividly, even though it was something that he was doing, and it's something that I had to figure out, is all the study in the world is not going to help you to get there unless you're using it in your life. See, he was using it. He was applying it. See, that's what led him to be who he became and who we saw. Change does not happen unless you go through it in your mind, unless there's movement of the information. This is why, again, we close every single one of these calls with, hey, what's the golden rule? Well, it's application, baby. That's where it's at. You must use it. You must shift this information from being static and passive to being dynamic. Why? Because life is dynamic. Boy, am I grateful for that gem from Robert Collier. You've got to make this information dynamic. So make it dynamic. Use it in your life practically. All right, so let's go to where we are. But before we do that, make sure you have your goal card with you. Wave it. Okay, get your goal card, wave it in the air, wave it in the air. And remember, we don't manifest what we write. We don't manifest what we put on a vision board. We don't even manifest affirmations. We manifest how we feel about them, how we're connected to them. The depth of the connection determines how much of the idea gets externalized in the results. See, that's what manifestation is. So many people talk about manifestation. Manifestation. Manifestation is nothing more than thought externalization. That's all it is. With that being said, it's the emotional thought that gets externalized, which are connected. And that's what Charles Haanel talked about beautifully. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into where we are in this beautiful gem. Okay, here we go. Ah, there it is. Ta-da. All right, we're going to go over some of what we went through before. And we're actually going to go into harmony. And in terms of the page that we're on page 406. This is the glossary. Every single one of these words is in the book. And I love how he put this in the book. So harmony, completeness, and perfection, resulting from diversity in unity, agreement in relation, orderliness. Now, when you think about that, what comes to your mind? When you think about harmony, what do you think of? And what I like to think of is a choir or an orchestra, where every instrument, every voice is in tune. When everything's in order. Well, that's what's got to happen in your life. So you got to look at your life as a symphony of which you're a part of it. You've got to look at it from how, if you want it to externalize, if you want this idea of yours to be a result in your life, you must think thoughts that are in harmony with this. They got to be in sync with it. The ideas on the inside of you must agree with this in order for it to become a result in your outer world. Remember, things are not brought into existence by thinking of their opposites. You're never, ever going to be able to achieve what you would really love for your life if your mind is saturated with ideas that are not in harmony with it. And the fun example that I love to bring about is, will you be able to be happy most of the time if you're constantly thinking, or if your mind is saturated with thoughts of sadness and disappointment? What's the answer? It's heck to the no. It's not going to happen. Being happy is the result of connecting with happy ideas. See, you're in harmony with happy ideas. That's how you deliver happiness. And by the way, another reminder for you about happiness: you don't need to be happy for any reason. Be happy for no reason, just like a child. Never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever say this: I'll be happy when. I'll be happy as soon as. Oh, that makes me so happy. Bad idea. I mean, it sounds kind of cool on the surface, but it's actually really dangerous. And the reason why is because when you say that, when you think that way, you are placing the conditions of your happiness on something external to you. Yes, screwed. Why? Because that can be taken away from you. Think about that. If you're happy for a reason, you're in danger. Why? Because the reason can be taken away from you. Be happy for no reason. I'm happy now. Okay, yes, that would be amazing if that happened. Okay, fine. It's amazing even if it doesn't. But you know what? I'm happy anyways. I don't need a reason to be happy, and neither should you. Now, let's go back to this. Harmony. We just spoke of that. Orderliness, agreement and relation, completeness and perfection resulting from diversity and unity. In other words, there's a whole bunch of ideas together that are in sync. Think again of a chorus, different voices. When they sing a beautiful chord in tune, it sounds magnificent, provided it's a nice, beautiful chord. Because there are some dissonant chords that aren't so nice. Now let's go to idea. Write this in your notes. I think from my ideas. It's something that Bob Proctor shared frequently. He shared how important it was for you to take notes and write down your ideas, that by writing with your hand, it causes you to think. So, idea, a thought which is conceived to be in a measure independent of the thinker and, in a sense, self-existent. The ideas that you come up with are independent of you, the thinker. Thoughts lead to ideas, and ideas nothing more than thought or a group of thoughts that are led towards a specific purpose or result. Now, what's beautiful about ideas is that when you are locked into an idea, like ideas start to come to you from the universe, from source. You think from this plane, the ideas that are already there, that are flowing from the universe, from God, from source, will be something that you start to see. Not because it hasn't been there, but because you're on the frequency to see it. And think about that. You can tap into any frequency you want. You can tap into the frequency of where you're earning your annual income monthly. If you lock into that idea, if you hold it on the screen of your mind, I have news for you. Those are the ideas that you're going to see. Now, before we go further, for those of you who are watching this live stream, I'd love to dive into where we're going to go with this. Go to elevitality.com